What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cab Show. NFL Week 2. Really some big games. Let me start off with my Indianapolis Colts. They're going to Jacksonville Jaguars. They haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014. Pretty piss poor, if you ask me. There's no excuses for the Indianapolis Colts this year. I mean, what are we going to come up with? If we miss the playoffs yet again this year, I'll be devastated. I'll be heartbroken. And I'll be wrong because I still believe that the Indianapolis Colts will make the playoffs this year. I do think Matt Ryan's got to get in the flow of things. We saw in week 1 really some silly plays by Matt Ryan, really just the whole complete team. We continue to make those mental mistakes that we made last year, dude. It's like we cannot do this, man. We're professionals here. We're pros. Like, let's get on the same page as the top level notch teams here. Okay, like I can't believe it right now. So I think if the Colts come into this game, they have to win. This is a must-win game for the Indianapolis Colts. We can't afford to go 0-1-1. We just can't do it. I mean, last year we started off 0-3. Week 4 was our first win. I just think Matt Ryan, he's got to turn it around here. You know, 1 touchdown, 1 pick in the season opener isn't good enough for me. It's not. 352 yards, that's pretty good. But I think the X factor for the Indianapolis Colts is definitely their run game, their offensive line, and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, 161 yards and a touchdown last week. Then obviously Michael Pittman Jr., their star receiver. I do think, you got to add those pieces of the puzzle. The first half last week against the Texans came out really sluggish. I think the Indianapolis Colts have to start off fast. If you guys want to win and win now, we got to start off fast. Matt Ryan's got to play well, and I think Jonathan Taylor's going to show up. Now, Trevor Lawrence, a touchdown and a pick last weekend. Look, for Trevor Lawrence, I still believe in him. I still think he can be a dynamic quarterback in the NFL in the future. Now, this is a huge year for Trevor Lawrence because we remember what happened last year. It was a real bad year for Trevor Lawrence. Now, rookie quarterbacks, they come into the NFL, they typically do have bad years. So I'll give a little leverage for Trevor Lawrence, but for this year, Trevor Lawrence, I want to see his touchdowns way more than his interceptions here. I want to see a lot of passing yards. I want to see Trevor Lawrence really read coverages right. I just feel like for Trevor Lawrence, he really hasn't been tested all that much, really, if we look at it. So I think Trevor Lawrence is going to come out in this game against the Colts and really play well, which is sad for Indianapolis Colts fans, but ultimately, I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. I'll take the 3.5. 4 points. That might change come game time. But looking at the bigger picture, the Indianapolis Colts had the better team, and that's why I'm going with them. So I think the Indianapolis Colts, Matt Ryan, they got to start off fast. I just think our defense is flying around right now. We got to get going here. I don't like how the Colts start off really slow and sluggish. We got to turn it around. So I'm going Colts at 3.5. I like them. This will be our first W since 2014 in Jacksonville, which is crazy, right? I mean, dude, when Payne was around, we will always beat Jacksonville, dude. And we typically always beat Tennessee Titans, our division rivals. So I think, for Jacksonville to really hold this right now is pretty sad for Indianapolis Colts fans. It's terrible. Haven't won since 2014, dude. That was the same year Johnny Football got drafted, dude, in OBJ. That was crazy time, right? But I'm still going to Indianapolis Colts all day here. And then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Tampa Bay's 2.5-point favorites, which I like here. I really do. Yes, the Saints, they typically play Tampa Bay really well. And I will give you guys that. I'll give you the little leverage there. But, we're going against the go here. And Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans. The Bucs defense looks nice as well. Although Chris Godwin is questionable. I think they should have, waited for Chris Godwin to come back mid-season here. Yes, he's coming back from an ACL injury. This is a contact sport here, football, dude. Like, it's going to catch up with you if you're not 100%. So I think they should really relax on Chris Godwin until they actually need him. So I think Tampa Bay is going to have a great game. I think I could see this being a blowout, which a lot of the experts are saying, hey, the Saints could actually upset them with Tyson Hill, Landry, Jameis Winston, really good squad. But I just think, Tampa Bay, they're just a better all-around squad right now. And I think Leonard Fournette, which is on my fantasy team, I expect him to have a big weekend this weekend in New Orleans. I really do. 45.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the over here. Why would I go with the over? Well, you got Tom Brady at quarterback who loves to throw. So that makes me think, hey, I'm going with the over here because of Tom Brady. And I do think Jameis Winston has turned it around in the past seasons, couple of years. So I think he'll have a good game as well. But I'm going Bucs all day in this matchup right here. And then we got the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 6.5-point favorites coming into this game. Zach Wilson is out. He'll probably be back around week 4 or 5, somewhere around now. Now, if Zach Wilson was playing, I might go with the Jets with the upset here. It's just hard for me to go Jets right now. I mean, Cleveland Browns, yes, they have Jacoby as their QB. He had a touchdown last weekend, and then obviously the game-winning field goal. I just think for the Cleveland Browns right now, I'm rooting for them. Now, would I throw a lot of bread on this game? Absolutely not. I do think this game is going to be a really close game here. We got two trash teams versus each other, and it's going to be iconic. It's going to be great. You know, get your popcorn ready with the extra butter. I think this is going to be good, but ultimately, I will go Cleveland. I'll go money line, though. It's in Cleveland. They're coming off a big win, so I'll go Cleveland money line. I just think the spread at 6.5, I think the Jets and Joe Flacco can really exploit that spread, and Joe Flacco can throw. We know that. He had, a couple good years in Baltimore, won a Super Bowl. Crazy, right? Joe Flacco threw the Hail Mary against Denver, got lucky, to tie it up, to send it into overtime. Just crazy sequence, right? But ultimately, I'm going Cleveland Browns. And then we got the Washington Commanders versus the Detroit Lions. Washington Commanders, Carson Wentz balled out last weekend. 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think for Carson Wentz, dude, obviously an ex-Indianapolis Colts, it's like, dude, where was this at? You know what I'm saying? Where was this Carson Wentz at where he's throwing great passes here? Because in Indy, he was not doing it, dude. He overthrew T.Y. against Oakland. Just so many bad plays that Carson Wentz did last year. It really can't make it up yet. I'm not sold on Carson Wentz. I do think he's going to eventually be a bench warmer. I really do. If he doesn't produce a lot with Washington, he will be a bench warmer. Well, he's a first-round draft pick, dude, which is insane to me, dude. I feel like a lot of these guys, especially quarterback positions, running back, receiver positions, they get a lot of hype. That's what they typically do. So I just think, for this instance, it's like, man, I'm not sold on Carson Wentz. I'm not at all. Now, the Lions, Jared Goff, pretty good game last weekend. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Swift, 144 yards rushing and a touchdown. I think, Detroit Lions, they got to get that run game going. If Swift's going to rush for over 100 yards, I'm going Detroit all day here. Now, part of me wants me to think, man, Washington, I'm going Washington. I know this is crazy, but I'm going Washington with the underdogs. I think they're going to really bounce back this game. And I just think, going against the Lions here, I mean, we're talking about the Detroit Lions, dude. They lost, Washington won. So I just think, for the Lions' sake, it's like, yes, I want to see some W's, but you got Jared Goff here. We remember him in the Super Bowl, only scored 3 points, okay? We remember that. So I like Washington Commanders here. 39.5 is the over-under. That's such a suck bet. Do not touch that. I think, 39, that's really low to me. That is super low. I'd probably go with the over because it's so low for NFL. 39.5, dude. Vegas is telling us something there. I'm not even going to touch the over-under, but I'm definitely going to go Washington Commanders over the Detroit Lions. And then we got the Carolina Panthers versus the New York Giants. Giants would have win last weekend. Saquon Barkley, 164 yards rushing and a touchdown. Daniel Jones balled out, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I think Saquon Barkley, obviously, is their X factor on offense. I think if he gets that run game going for the Giants, really the Giants can compete against anybody. If Saquon Barkley's playing like he was in week 1, anything is possible here. So I think for the Giants, you got to bounce on them. And Baker, 0-1 coming into this game, with this new squad in Carolina, McCaffrey, he's got to have a big year this year, dude. I think for McCaffrey and the Carolina Panthers, you can't solely just depend on McCaffrey offensively because a lot of the defenses now are going to be like, hey, we're going to double, triple team McCaffrey if he's out on slot. We're going to blitz 8 to 9 people every time when McCaffrey's in the backfield. Just a lot of things to minus out McCaffrey. So I think Baker Mayfield is going to have to step up big. But ultimately, I'm probably going to go Giants here. I'm going to go Giants, with the 2-point spread. I'd love to see Baker ball out. I'm not sold on Baker Mayfield. I'm not, dude. He can't really throw the deep ball accurately, dude. He just can't. He can't. I mean, we saw it in Cleveland, dude, time after time again. Baker's a good worker. He's a solid quarterback, but he's not a Super Bowl winning champion quarterback. He's dude, eventually Baker will be a bench rider, a bench warmer, which is sad to say, but I don't see any change in Baker Mayfield, really. I don't. From last year to 2020, I just don't see that much change in him, especially in his throw. Still the same type of throw, just kind of inaccurate when he goes deep. I don't know. I'm not sold on it, but I'm definitely going to go Giants at 2. 43 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the under on this one, which is kind of silly, right? But I think the under on this game. And then we got the New England Patriots versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, the Patriots, they lead the all-time series 17-16, so it's really going to be a dogfight. We know that. You know, Mac Jones got hurt last weekend, you know, with the back. I think Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time, should, at least try to play Zappy here, dude. I'm telling you guys, is Zappy, yes, he's from a small Division I school, but at the end of the day, he's a gamer, dude. He can throw the ball down the field. He can throw it accurately. He can scramble. I feel like they got to give him a shot. And I think week 2 right here, why not? In Pittsburgh, I mean, dude, Pittsburgh Steelers are starting Mitch Trubisky, dude, okay? Like, Mitch Trubisky, man. You know, it's 2022, man. Hey, shout out to Mitch Trubisky. I don't know how he did it, but shout out to Mitch, man, one time. But TJ Watt is out. He's going to be out about 6 weeks, you know, with that pec injury. That's going to be devastating. That's going to be devastating for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just think, you know, with Harris, I think he's going to be out as well. It's just going to be a tough game with a lot of the injuries that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. So I'm going to go the New England Patriots in Pittsburgh. I know this is a tough game. You know, that Mike Tomlin, you know, Bill Belichick, they know each other. They know each other like the back of their hand. So I think this is going to be a great game. I think whoever has the ball last and who's going to hit the game-winning field goal is going to win this game, ultimately. So I can't wait to see what transpires there. But I'm going to go Patriots at 2, the favorites right now. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are battling too many injuries, so that's why I'm going going New England Patriots over the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then we got the Miami Dolphins versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 3.5-point favorites. Look, for Lamar, last weekend, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. They did not sign an agreement with Baltimore, which is, to me, Baltimore has to give Lamar what he wants, right? He's got to. And I think Lamar, this is his biggest year of his career, really. It is. And I think if Lamar has an MVP-like season, they're going to sign him like what KC gave Patrick Mahomes, over 500 M's. I really do believe that. I think Lamar Jackson, he has that dog in him. He does. I do think he's getting better in the pocket and avoiding, obviously, the big hits. But I think Lamar, he's the X factor here. You can't really prepare for Lamar because if Lamar runs on you, what are you going to do? You're going to try to run him down? No. You know, he's just faster than everybody out there, faster than some DBs, which is insane. But I think Lamar, how good he plays is how great the Ravens are going to play. I think the better Lamar plays, the better the Ravens defense and all-around team plays. So it's all on Lamar here. I think, you know, for Harbaugh, he knows what's at stake. You know, I think I'm going Ravens here. I'm going Ravens, which is kind of a gamble bet, really, because a lot of the experts are picking the Miami Dolphins. Tua had a great game last weekend. You know, they got Tyreek Hill, who I believe is the X factor on their offensive side. I do. I think if Tua and Tyreek Hill have that combination and are really on the same page all year, it's going to be scary. We're talking about the Miami Dolphins could potentially make the playoffs this year. Yes, right, the playoffs. I said it, the playoffs. That sounds crazy, right? The Miami Dolphins in the playoffs? What? The playoffs? The playoffs? Yes, the playoffs. I'm telling you, the Miami Dolphins have that opportunity, but still, I'm going Baltimore at home. I think Lamar's going to have a great game this game. 44.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the over, but I love the Ravens at 3.5. I really do. I think Lamar Jackson, he knows this is his biggest year yet, dude. He needs an MVP. He needs to go to the playoffs. He needs to run deep and go to the Super Bowl. He's got to. So I think Lamar this year is the Ravens' year, so I'm going Ravens all day. And then we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the LA Rams. The Rams are 10-point favorites, which I think is kind of crazy, right? I mean, the Rams came out sloppy on the season opener. I mean, they really, you know, we saw Jalen Ramsey get cooked by Stephon Diggs opening day. I mean, he got cooked, dude. You know, for all the talk that Jalen Ramsey loves to talk, dude, that backfired quickly, dude. He shot his rounds, and it came right back at him. So I think for the Rams, this is a reality check here. Yes, you guys are the defending Super Bowl champions, but you guys got to play like it, and you haven't played like it yet. So I think, obviously, Cooper Kupp, the X factor of their team. He really, Cooper Kupp's the best receiver in the league. We know that, hands down. I think, you know, for Matt Stafford, man, 3 picks in the season opener, dude. I was never really sold on Matt Stafford. I think really what happened is, yes, Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl. Yes, he led him, but I think, you know, it's really the Rams defense that led him all year, last year. So I think, you know, if you had even a subpar quarterback like Matt Stafford, or let's say, you know, for instance, like just a random quarterback, right? Like, let's say Tua, for example. I think Tua could have really won the Super Bowl last year if he was playing with the Rams. I really do. I'm not trying to discredit Matthew Stafford. He's a good quarterback. I just think overall, man, he's just had better players around him than typically most. I mean, Cooper Kupp, dude, he's crazy good. OBJ last year, crazy good, dude. We're talking the top-level athletes, top-level receivers in the game, dude. That's who he had. And Matt Stafford right now, without OBJ, did not look too well. Now, I'm not going to give up on Stafford. I think the Rams win. I'm going to go money line, though. I think 10 points is a lot. And really, Atlanta looked kind of nice last week with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. Drake London, their rookie receiver, he's nice as well. I just think I like the Rams money line all day here. It's going to be tough for Atlanta, but I like the Rams. The Rams are going to have to really turn it around, though. If they want to repeat Super Bowls, they're going to have to do something different. They really are. They're going to have to attack more and play a lot better, but I like the Rams at home again. And then we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are 8.5-point favorites here, which it makes sense to me. You got Trey Lance, Jimmy G is a backup. You guys got a good running game, good solid defense. Now, this is really a similar teams. They know each other. They played against each other a lot. Geno Smith is comfortable with the system with Pete Carroll. I just think overall this is really a coin flip game. I think the 8.5 right now is just out of control, dude. It really is, man. 8.5, that is high for me. I don't even want to take that. I think the way Seattle played last weekend in the red zone, their defense stepped it up. So I'm going to go Seattle here. I think Seattle's defense is really underrated, and I think they have one of the best red zone defenses in the NFL. It's easy for me to say after week 1, but I'm telling you right now, defense does win championships, and I think Seattle played great. So they're going to bring into this game what they did last weekend. So I'm going to go Seattle over San Francisco 49ers with the upset right here. Crazy, right? And then we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Dallas Cowgirls. Man, so sad, right? The Dallas Cowboys season seems to end right now. Dak Prescott's out with a thumb injury. And it's just, hey, it's typical Dallas Cowboys. They always have a great squad, but there's another excuse here. Well, our quarterback's done. Dak Prescott, he's out 6 to 8 weeks. What are we going to do? Well, you should have got Jimmy G over the offseason. That's what I think. Or maybe even get Cam Newton. Somebody, dude. I just think, Cooper Rush to start. He's from out of Central Michigan. Shout out to Mac School, Central Michigan one time. I just think, man, I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. I think it's going to rely all on Zeke and the run game for sure. But I think on the flip side is how's the Dallas Cowboys defense going to respond to this? Respond to Dak being hurt, over about 2 months here. So this is no joke. This is the reality for the Dallas Cowboys fan is it's similar to Notre Dame. We get all the hype in the world, and every single year we come up short, year in and year out. For Notre Dame, it's been 1988, dude. That's been so long ago, dude. Were phones even invented yet? Like, it's crazy. But, I'm going to go Cincinnati. Yes, they're 7-point favorites, but I think they're going to bounce back. Joe Burrow, 4 picks in the season opener last week. Jamar Chase, the X factor, obviously. 1 touchdown, 129 yards receiving last weekend. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're always on the same page. They know what's going on. In Cincinnati, they're going to come to play. Although I do think Cincinnati has a lot of high expectations, right? They just lost in the Super Bowl. They want to come back. Really, they should have never been there. So I just think for Cincinnati, this is also a reality check. For Joe Burrow, let's get it right here. You got Dallas really wounded right now. Dak's out. Jerry Jones doesn't know what his next move is, dude. Like, seriously, he still has to pop a Viagra to get a boner, dude. That's how old Jerry Jones is, dude. Crazy, right? But I like Joe Burrow. I like Cincinnati Bengals at 7, so I'm going to go Bengals. 41 is the over-under. I'd probably go with the over here. I'd actually go heavy on the over here. I think Cincinnati's going to really throw it out, and I think, what Dallas is going to try to do is run the ball and control the clock the first half, but I think it's going to break out in the second half, so I like Cincinnati. And then we got the Houston Texans versus the Denver Broncos. Broncos are 10-point favorites coming in. We saw the Texans last week against my Indianapolis Colts. Yes, Davis Mills had a good game, 240 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Brandon Cook's a nice receiver, but I'm going Denver here. I think Denver's going to bounce back at home. I'll take the 10 points. I'm confident in Russell Wilson. I really am. 340 yards and a touchdown, last weekend, and really they lost because of their coach. Didn't call a timeout with 50 seconds left. Instead, he ran it all the way down to like 20 seconds, and then they kicked like a 64-yard field goal. How did that make sense? And I get it. It was 4th and 5, but you got to go for it. You got to put your field goal kicker in a better situation. A 64-yard field goal, rather him, try a 50-yard field goal, 53. And it's mind-boggling to me that the Denver Broncos, the reason they lost was because of lack of coaching, lack of experience. And Russell Wilson, you could see it. He wanted to call a timeout with 50 seconds left. I don't know what was going on. Was it a miscommunication? But it's the coaches to blame. It is. You're the leader of this team. There's no excuses. You got timeouts left. Payne even told us to call a timeout, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is the NFL here. This isn't college anymore or high school. Straight up, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Denver really just shot themselves in the foot, but they're going to bounce back around. Judy's nice, 102 yards receiving and a touchdown. He's the X factor offensively. I like Denver at Denver all day. I love the 10-point spread. If you guys are kind of, not iffy on that, go money line, but I love Denver all day in this matchup. And then we got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 5.5-point favorites coming in. This is really a tough game for both teams. I mean, they know each other well. They play each other all the time. Kyler Murray, 2 touchdowns last weekend. Derek Carr, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. They got Josh Jacobs. Devontae Adams, 141 yards receiving and a touchdown last week. I think Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, they played at Fresno State together. They know each other well. I think they got to click on all cylinders. Now, if they're clicking here, I love the Raiders. Now, on the flip side is Arizona Cardinals are no joke, dude. They know this team well. They know what coverages they're going to run, what blitzes are going to come. So if this was an upset game, I might even go Arizona here. I really would, but I'm still got to go the Las Vegas Raiders at home. I think Derek Carr and Devontae Adams have a breakout game. Yes, they had a great game last weekend, but I think this game is going to show us, hey, there's a reason why Devontae Adams with the Las Vegas Raiders with his boy Derek Carr. So I can't wait for this. 51.5 is the over-under. I'll probably go with the over because both offenses love to throw the ball down the field, so I'll go with the over, but I love the Raiders at 5.5. And then we got the Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers are 10-point favorites. Aaron Rodgers is 22-5 versus Chicago all-time record in his career. 22-5. That's pretty great, Yes, there was some smack talk a couple years ago, or even last year about Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago Bears, all this jazz and stuff. But I'm telling you what right now, what I saw with the Bears last week against the 49ers, they have heart. They never given up. And Justin Fields stepped up when he needed to with 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Although their offensive tackle is out, Alex Leatherwood, he is out, dude, which is really devastating for them. I like Green Bay, but I'm going to go money line Green Bay. I think, this could be an upset alert game as well. Just like last game, I really do. I just think Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, he's got to come out, dude. He's on my fantasy squad. I want to see him put up crazy numbers, and I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers pouting all the time. Pointing his finger, blaming his teammates, blaming the organization. They just paid you over $100 million, dude. Stop complaining, Aaron Rodgers, dude. Seriously, put some heart and soul to the game. Pat your teammates on the back, encourage them instead of point fingers and cuss them out and shit and be an asshole, dude. That gets you nowhere, dude. So I think for Aaron Rodgers, this is a big game for him, dude. At home, you say you own Chicago Bears. Well, let's go. Let's see what it is. So I'm going to go Green Bay, money line, because of Aaron Rodgers. Let's get it. And then we got the Tennessee Titans versus the Buffalo Bills. Bills are 10-point favorites. Look, this sounds crazy the way the Bills started off, but, this is an upset game, which sounds ridiculous and off the track. Josh Allen, yes, he probably is front runner for MVP, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks last weekend in a rushing touchdown. Stephon Diggs, he's a killer. Von Miller's a killer. But I'm telling you what, Tennessee, they had the recipe to upset the Buffalo Bills. And it starts with the run game and Derrick Henry. I'm telling you what right now, I think Derrick Henry, if he rushes for over 100 yards rushing this game and controls it with Tannehill, I'm telling you what, I'm going Tennessee with the upset in Buffalo. I know it sounds ridiculous, dude. It really does. Now, my pick might change come up to the game, but for some reason, my gut's telling me Tennessee with the upset here. Tannehill's going to have a decent game at least. Derrick Henry's going to rush on that defense. And I think the Bills, yes, they're great at putting pressure on the quarterback now. They're great at stopping the run. And they did show me in week 1 they were but you're going against a different breed here, Derrick Henry. I think who's pound for pound the best running back when healthy, him and Jonathan Taylor. So this is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be close. I'm definitely going to go Tennessee. Now, if the Bills win by 9, I still win the bet because the Bills have to win by 10 plus or more, dude. So it's like, the Bills, they're obviously heavy favorites, but I like Tennessee with the upset. And then we got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 2-point favorites here. This is going to be an interesting game as well. Jalen Hurts, 243 yards last weekend. Huge year for Jalen Hurts. You got Devontae Smith. You got A.J. Brown, dude, 150 yards, 155 yards receiving last week. I think the Eagles are going to be super nice. They really are. Now, on the flip side, Kirk Cousins, a solid quarterback, 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, arguably him and Cooper Kupp, the best receivers in the league, dude. Justin Jefferson, 184 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns last weekend. So I think he's the X factor here. So I'm going to go Minnesota with the upset. I think Minnesota has a little better run game than Philly, and I think they have a better throwing game than Philly. I think Jalen Hurts, he's going to have to step up, but I like Kirk Cousins in Minnesota here. I think they're going to run it down Philly's throat and really just score when they want. I do. I think that's what's going to happen. Now, on the flip side is it's in Philly. They're going to be loud, home field advantage. I get all that. I just think right now, Kirk Cousins, what I saw with Minnesota's opening win against Green Bay, I was like, dude, these guys are the real deal. And Justin Jefferson, top 2, him and Cooper Kupp, receivers in the league. So I'm going to go Minnesota because of Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson alone. Now, the Bills pick, I might be kind of ignorant for that with the upset, but I'm telling you, there's some big games here. Now, I want to get back into the Cincinnati-Dallas game. I think this game's going to be very interesting here. I think if Dallas really plays well, they can keep it close, but still, I'm going to go the Bengals here. I just like the Bengals. I just think, with the Dallas Cowboys, they always have excuses. They do. They typically always do, so that's just going to be rough, but obviously my Indianapolis Colts playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's tough, dude. It's tough. Haven't won since 2014. It's rough, dude, but I'm telling you what right now, Colts, this is a must-win game. We cannot lose against Jacksonville again, dude. We can't, dude. We have to win this game. And I think Matt Ryan's going to come out and have a big game, same as Jonathan Taylor. So I can't wait. I hope you guys make a couple mil this weekend. Sports betting, baby. It's the Cloud with Cab Show. Let's go!